game we're playing today.
Purrfect Date. Oh, okay.
Alright, I think that saved and everything.
Oh, it's cats.
Put this in the middle.
I'm feeling this way you came first.
Clicking the left here. Do we continue?
I don't know. Can you hear me? Are you okay? What is it? Don't be ridiculous, Kibbles. It's a human. Oh, yeah, I can smell it now. It smells like a human. Oh, do be quiet. Are they alive? Of course it's alive. It's breathing, you imbecile. Why isn't it moving? Would you come on and give them some space? Move back a bit. Yeah, stand back. Move out of my way. Let me have a proper look. Snooty booty. I begin to come to. The Sphinx cat is standing over me as I open my eyes. We stare at each other for a moment while I try to take in what's happening. Is this one defective? Oh, I feel sick. I'm gonna puke. The cats watch me intently. Am I going insane? Ouch, my head. What is it chattering about? They're scared and confused. Let me talk to them. Human, are you alright? I remember you took my catalog. Oh, but I have give it back to you. It's back in your pocket now. I try to reach into my pocket and realize my hands are scratched to shreds. Well, Jesus. Ow, 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 ow. What's wrong with my hands? I try to stand. Ow, ow, ow. My feet. What happened to me? Yeah, I guess that's from all the climbing. I told you I wasn't ready for that. What's that? Ready for what? Its anatomical structure is far too delicate. I tried to slow it down. Yeah, Floofy, try restraining a human who's that determined. It was like a margay. Its anatomical structure didn't seem that delicate to me. I was like, a what? Doing what? You made your way back to the beach. Okay, but that doesn't explain. I show my bleeding hands.
No.
Oh, you crawled, Kara. Kara? Who's Kara? That's not my name. It's a term of endearment. It's an Irish thing. It's inappropriate. Wait, I crawled? You sure did. Like a cat? Yup. All the way from the mountains? Like a bleeding mountain lion. Impressive. But why? Because you got the sickness. Shh. Maybe you should sit down, human. We need to have a talk. Possibly a long talk. Talk, yes, that's right. Since when can cats talk? Oh, for goodness sake. Since the dawn of time, how else do you think we communicate? Stop spitting whiskers, Major. You know full well that the human is saying, I think the relevation here, Kara, is that you can understand us. Yes, that too. Will someone please explain what the hell is going on here?
I don't think we started from the beginning. I think I loaded this up once.
I think, yeah.
I think she was here as a researcher.
Got you.
Is what
That's
it happened.
why she has the coat. Well, we don't fully understand everything ourselves, at least not all the details of how this works. Do you want to go back?
Fine. I think that's like the just like I literally probably played like 5 minutes of this
and then it
like,
just skipped to the point of it. I think being stood in a forest surrounded by a bunch of talking cats is about as much detail as anybody would want. I agree, and more to the point, we were rather hoping you would be able to help us. You're the scientist, after all. What we do know is that the clock has started ticking for you. What do you mean? Well, there's no easy way to say this to you, Kara. You'll be catified.
Oh shit.
Oh, so they're all...
I could be an animal. I think being a cat wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. I'll be what? Whether you help or not, you don't have a lot of time before ahem, if I may. It would seem, and we were bashing this on our experiences to date, but when a human manages to find themselves in what I believe you call the danger zone, they are vulnerable in ways that they previously were not. That is to say, you're screwed. You're not helping. Don't make me hiss. Well, Mountain Lion, there would be no violence of any kind. Forgive me for being a bit panicked here. The vulnerability to which Snooty Booty is referring is simply put, if you are bitten or scratched by an elder cat within the danger zone, you will begin a process of change that ultimately results in a full feline transition. Whispers catified. So basically, you're telling me I'm a werecat? I look down, and amongst the scratches on my right hand are two distinct puncture marks. The reality of my situation descends on me like a cold mist. Basically. Thinking, yes. My head is spinning. This is too much for me to take in. Take a breath now, Kara. You're not looking so good. What? Have I started to change? I feel my head for ears for everything seems to be normal. No. I just meant you're looking a bit shaky, understandably so. I'd take a few deep, steady breaths and calm myself enough to say, okay, so why, how, what?
Oh, if I pick something.
Yeah.
Now I can kind of see the text on the screen.
Yeah. How, what? Give me some data. What have you got so far? Look, we'll answer anything that we can, but the truth is we have more questions than answers ourselves. So, you said you need my help. What exactly would that entail? Well, finding our friends would be a start. The cats on the island, they're going missing. We don't know what's happening to them, but the body count is rising and we've hit a wall. A wall of ignorance, maybe. Really, how many times do I have to tell you? The Muellers are to blame. Muellers. Now, Fluffy Butt. There's no name for name calling. Speaking of name calling, I'll remind you to call me Major, Madame. Look, they can't help the way they are. It's lack of breeding, you know. Overbreeding, if you ask me. Again, Muellers. They're the elder cats, the island originals. They can't speak the way we can, hence the derogatory term, Muellers. And how are they to blame, exactly? Well, if I knew that, there would have been no need for this elaborate kidnapping. It's hardly proving to be a roaring success after all. Snoof. Look, Kara, all we really know is that we are no longer safe on this island. The elders who live within the danger zone are hostile towards us. Not sure why. It's just always been that way. And now because cats are being taken, nowhere else is safer either. You expect the occasional mishap. We live in an undomesticated world here, after all. But lately, cats have been disappearing almost every day. Even the last human we catified went missing. I'm sorry, what? Let's not open old wounds, Kibbles. Yes, onwards and upwards. Well, first things first, this werecat thing. Catification. Transition. Whatever. How does it work? Time passes, then you transform into a cat. Yeah. It's a gradual process. It's different for everyone, but you won't just turn overnight. The clock is ticking, however. The first side effect of the transition is being able to understand us, well, some of us. Not the elders, obviously. Not all the domestics either. Then you have the whole heightened senses thing, the increased agility, the crazy body hair stuff. Let's not worry the human with all the details just yet. I assume there's an antidote. I'm afraid we've gone to be disappointed in that assumption. Hang on, you said there was someone else you'd put in this position? Well, let's hope you're a better bet than they were. Unfortunately, they weren't able to discover an antidote or get our friends back. I know where their notes are, though. Really? Trade. Huh? You help us, and I'll give you their progress reports. So what do you say, Carl? Will you help us? Help the kitties, or do not help the kitties?
I believe we must help the kitties.
Help.
I do not see another way to progress forward.
Exactly. Help the kitties. Not much of a choice, really, is it? Afraid not. Okay, fine. So where do I start? Is there anything you can tell me that will help me track down your missing friends? Will no one listen to sense? Start with the Muellers, and I'll eat my hat if it doesn't end up there too. Where's his hat? Whispers, don't mind him. He's set in his ways. We have every reason to believe the abductors take place in your part of the island. Yes, nowhere near the danger zone or the elders. Well, that doesn't make much sense.
So much on this desk.
But I suppose nothing does around this place. My catalog starts beeping. Oh, my alarm, I have to get to work. You run along now. We don't want you arousing suspicions with your people. You can meet with us later. I'll make sure these reports are in your tent before this evening. Thanks, Kara. You're 1 in a million. I imagine the odds are far greater than that given your new health status. Go. And thanks from all of us. It's a lot of reading.
It's a visual novel.
Yeah.
Warned you.
Oh. After a rather painful journey, I'm very grateful to finally limp into camp. I have just enough time to get myself tidied up for work and about to peel off my filthy pajamas when I hear my catalog beeping. I have a message, but I can't tell who it's from. It's not from any of the contacts that Professor Paul programmed into it. In fact, there's no contact information at all. Messages. Unknown number. Are you sure it is wise to trust anyone? Everyone. What on earth does that mean? Me. Who is this? Who this? There's a lot you don't know. Think carefully about who you confide in. Before I can think of a reply, the messages are gone, and my catalog has no record of them. I don't have any time to think about this right now. I need to get ready. As soon as I'm presentable, I head over to the lab. I'm 10 minutes late. It doesn't give a good impression on my first morning.
I'm just sitting here in silence.
You can talk. You can read some.
How do you pronounce that name?
Bike.
Ah,
Vic.
Bitch.
Bitch.
Good to see you.
His name.
I was beginning to worry. Did you oversleep on your first day?
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I think the traveling and all the excitement of yesterday. I take punctuality very seriously. He cuts across my apology.
Not to worry. It's perfectly understandable. You'll find I'm quite relaxed about most things. As long as you get the work done, I don't much mind what hours you keep.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not a lawyer like that. So, shall we get started? My goodness, what on earth happened to you? I think I found the missing cats. They're just like...
Yeah, they're hiding in the back. He's looking at the scratches all over my hands. Oh, I fell and tried to save myself by grabbing onto a bush. What?
Not a secret drinker, are you, bitch?
Oh no, sir. I'm a bit of a lightweight, to tell you the truth.
Just teasing. Glad to get those hands sorted out, though. They look pretty nasty to me.
He goes to the tall metal cabinet in the corner and takes out a bottle and some cotton wool. He begins cleaning and tending to my hands while he talks.
For today, I'd like you to help me with a few tasks around the lab to get the hang of things. But from tomorrow, I'll let you make your own choices about how best to carve up your time. Of course, you're primarily here to carry out your job as my research assistant. However, try to make the most of your time on the island. Once your work is completed, we'll be saying goodbye. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so do not waste it all in the lab. Naturally, I need help around here, but I'd also like you to get your hands dirty with some field work. Make sure you spend time exploring on the island. It's a beautiful place and there's a lot to see. Take time to get to know the cats. A full understanding of their behavior is crucial to our research. There is plenty to see and do. However, you must be careful not to overwork. Take regular rest and relaxation. We don't want you to burn yourself out now, do we?
I'll try to get the balance right.
That's the spirit. So here you are.
He's done a first-class job of my wounds, and they aren't bothering me nearly as much. Spend the rest of the day with the professor, getting to know how the various pieces of equipment in the lab work, finding out where everything is, and learning some of the basic duties I will be performing routinely. By the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I make my way to my tent. I'm about to flop down on my bed when I see a package poking out from underneath it. It's the reports that Kibbles promised to deliver. The cats are right. The previous person barely made a start of producing an antidote. I'm gutted and worried. What if I can't do any better? Will it turn into a cat?
Probably.
More than likely. I decide that's not an option and resolve to get going on my own research to it tomorrow. My instincts tell me what the cats will be a good starting point. I have a feeling they know a lot more than they're really prepared to tell me. I need to gain their trust and see if I can't get them to open up a bit. I'm sure I'll make more progress if I focus on one at a time. I'm optimistic that one-time sharing will prove fruitful. It's a small glimmer of hope. Tonight, I'm not fit for anything. I can barely even write in my journal before I fall asleep. The first morning of waking up in the island, I'm so excited to discover what the day will bring. Should I jump straight into lab research, or maybe it would be wise to start investigating a way to help these cats and find a cure for myself? Perhaps a good starting point would be to get to know the cats a little better on a one-to-one basis. Saving. What should I do today? Rest, romance, research, recon. What do you think?
Why am I getting a call? Fun stuff. What do we choose?
I would say research.
You think we should research?
Yeah. Resting. What's resting gonna do? She's gonna be a cat by the time she wakes up.
We'll probably pass out or something if we don't rest enough.
I don't know. Rest?
You don't need to rest. We have full hearts.
What is recon?
You know, we can. It probably lets us do multiple each day. We can just do one of each.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do?
Research.
You want to do research? We can do research.
Oh. What do I do? Just click? What goes after completing chapter 2? Time to round up some rowdy kitties. Okay, so now I gotta go chase the cats down. I don't think Floofy Butt's gonna like that. It's a sunny afternoon. Most of the cats are lazing on the beach, perfect, like shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh, poor kitties.
I double check my supply list. Crate, treat, sedative, snare, catnip, antiseptic cream for myself. I've got everything. I have a sick feeling in my tummy, but I ignore it as best I can. This is going to be a challenge, but I'm pleased the professor is trusting me with more physical tasks. I walk out onto the beach feeling the child catcher. Keep reminding myself that I'm doing this for the greater good, even if it makes me unpopular with cats. I set up the crate in an unsuspecting location and keep the snare hidden behind my back. At first, I stroll around, trying to look as casual as possible, whistling a tune as I walk. I get close to one of the smaller cats. I start to stroke her. I want this to be as painless as possible. The cat responds well to me. She even starts to purr gently. Are you going to come with me? The cat looks at me with big, wide, loving eyes. Come on, then. I pick the cat up, carrying her to the crate, and place her gently inside. I lock it shut, even though the cat makes no attempt to escape. Well, this went better than expected. This may be a good day after all. Emboldened by my success, I approach one of the slightly larger cats. Hey, matey, shall we get in the basket? I give him a little stroke. He doesn't respond badly, although he doesn't seem particularly interested either. I put my hands on either side of his body, ready to pick him up. He doesn't look happy about it and growls a warning at me. Hey, mister, it's going to be okay. We're just going on a little trip, all right? As soon as I start to lift, all hell breaks loose. Yowling and hissing, he scratches my arms to ribbons. I try to get him into the basket, but he stretches out and I can't fit him in. Ow, ow, oh. I know when I'm defeated and I have to let him go. He scampers off into the distance. Look down at my ravaged arms. Note to self, wear long sleeves when engaging duty.
I did a little research today.
So... I wonder what the romance is. You want to hit romance?
We do a little romance.
She's probably gonna hit up the professor. Oh, she's dating a cat. Bestiality.
Well, she's turning into a cat.
I guess so. So
like,
it's just she's slowly transitioning. I like McMurphy. Let's go with him.
He's Irish. I can't do an Irish accent. Up the more, laddies. Girl, wake up.
Mummy, is that you?
Shh, quiet, Gara. Come with me. I have something to show you, but you have to be quiet.
McMurphy?
Yes, it's me.
But it's the middle of the night.
Oh, Gara. You're not scared, are you?
Why would I be scared?
Creeping around a forest in the middle of the night. Don't worry, Gara. I'll be there to protect you.
McMurphy, you know very well that there's a force field around the island stopping anything from the outside getting in. It makes this a pretty safe place.
Indeed. So the only things you have to worry about are the things that are already here.
He leers at me with a mock snarl. Seriously, Murph, if you're the worst threat there, then this is the safest place on Earth.
So come on, Cara. What was you waiting for? I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do an Irish accent.
I follow the scraggy cat into the forest. The ground is wet and muddy, and I lose my footing a couple of times, but McMurphy is too determined to notice. Suddenly, he stops dead in his tracks.
We are here.
Where is here, McMurphy?
He ignores
my question. Starts digging into some mud and leaves on the ground.
Almost got it. Could use a hand, Cara, if you don't mind. Get these leaves out of the way. That's it. Here we are. Okay.
We keep digging until there's a fairly deep hole in the ground. My arms and night clothes are covered in mud and leaves, and McMurphy looks like a bog monster in the darkness.
Ta-da!
Ta-da?
Can't you see it, Cara?
I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
I always forget how useless human eyes are in the dark. Just reach into the hole and take it out, whatever you find.
I reluctantly reach into the burrow and feel something hard and cold against my hand. I wrap my fingers around it and pull it out. I know the shape, but my eyes can hardly process it. It's a bottle?
That's right, Kara. It's my secret stash. No one knows about it, not a soul. I thought I'd share it with you. Thought we could have a kind of welcome to the island party for two.
Ooh. Secret stash, is this booze? McMurphy lets out a wild laugh. You gonna laugh?
Laughs in Irish. That it is, Kara.
You drink alcohol, but you're a cat. That can't be good for your body.
It's not good for anybody's. But it does wonders for the soul, to be sure.
Oh, he's an alcoholic. Well, I suppose you're right there, McMurphy.
He's Irish.
I guess one little nip couldn't hurt.
That's the spirit.
I try in vain. I get some of the mud off of me before giving up and sitting down against a tree. A sodden McMurphy curls up in my lap. Takes a while to unlock the bottle. McMurphy keeps telling me to smash it open and that the shards of glass will only add to the flavor. What? But eventually, I succeed my way. I pour a little out from McMurphy into a leaf and self-consciously swig from the bottle, feeling a touch uncivilized. Ugh, McMurphy, what in heaven's name is this?
Ah, now don't worry about that, Kara. It's not the taste. It's about the company.
I hardly think I'm the type of person you'd usually hang around with.
Well, I usually hang around with cats, and they're not exactly what you'd call my type.
I respond by winding my eyes as I take another swig from the bottle. Somehow it tastes less terrible the second time around.
I find humans more interesting. They usually have a lot to say. Present company expected. Accepted. I don't know.
McMurphy winks at me with his huge green eyes, and I blush, trying desperately not to show how poor I feel compared to him. Wink, wink.
Don't take it harsh. I'm only joking, Kara.
McMurphy, I've been meaning to ask you something for a while now.
Anything, Kara. Ask anyway. Ask away. I'd love for us to get to know each other better.
This Kara thing, you know my name is... The rest of the sentence is drowned out by McMurphy's howls of laughter. He's insane.
You make me laugh, Kara. You really do. I know exactly what your name is, bitch. Kara is just... It's a pet name, you know? Kara means friend, buddy, amigo. It's something my mammy used to call people, and I guess it just stuck. It's one of the few things I remember about her, actually. That and her beautiful smile. Hey, flash me your pearly whites.
I smile at McMurphy awkwardly.
Just smile. You look pretty when you smile. Just casual sexual harassment from a cat.
He bursts into fits of laughter again. Yeah, I think he's insane.
Oh, that's a lovely smile, to be sure. But you need to grow into it yet.
Gotta grow into my smile.
Can I have a top up over here?
Bubbles, he's turning.
Oh, he's so drunk.
He's drunk. I don't know if I feel comfortable giving you more alcohol, McMurphy. I think you've had more than enough. In fact, I didn't even want to give you any in the first place.
Hold on. I'm posting this. You can post it on yours.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a couple friends in here.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Did I install malware? You gonna post it on yours so we get some friends in here? Did you not know that cats have 9 lives? Oh, your phone's all the way over there. Yep. Oh, not the green screen. Not the green screen. I'm glad I cropped the top of it. I was looking at the second screen. Oh, it's falling down.
Oh, shit.
Just be careful. Can I fix it real quick?
Yes.
Cat scratch fever. Mm-hmm. Did you know that cats have 9 lives?
And you want to waste them all on booze?
Yes. And why not? Besides, the night is still young. We've only just begun our conversation. Come on, Kara. We have a lot of chin wagging to do yet. And you're going to pour me or not? I love this. This is an intervention.
What do you... I think an intervention for McMurphy. What do you think? Or do you want to go with the crazy mode? Cheers.
I'll let you decide.
Let's go cheers and see what happens.
Keep it spicy.
Spicy it up. Part of me thinks I ought to be a responsible human here and cut off your alcohol supply, but I believe in a true democracy.
Would you care to expand that and perhaps pour the drinks as you do?
The true democratic principle that none shall have power over the people, cats, whatever.
How inspirational. I'll toast to that.
All right, McMurphy, put on your head be it, for with the rejection of authority comes the responsibility for bearing the consequences of your actions. I pour some more of the suspect liquor into McMurphy's soggy leaf.
I'm gonna pronounce that.
Sleonte?
Slaint.
Slaint? I don't know how things work in cat protocol, but in human terms, you are a very mature, no wait, very grown up, adult. Oh, fiddlesticks. You're over a certain age and can take responsibility for your own choices.
I like it. Spoken like a true libertine.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I can shake my tail when I feel the vibe. I can't believe I just said that. This stuff is stronger than it looks.
My proverbial hat is off to you.
I feel disproportionately pleased that Murph has paid me a compliment.
Say, Carl, have you ever been in love? This is so weird.
It is. It's cringe. It's okay. McMurphy, that second leaf has gone straight to your head. The cat smiles slyly.
Unfortunately, I don't think Birch is the one getting pussy tonight.
No. It's the cat.
I'm going to take that as a yes. Are you still with me?
Well, I was never technically with them to begin with.
Ouch. Well, it's definitely their loss.
Oh, I don't think so, McMurphy. We never actually met.
You're not saying you're one of those, internet stalker types, are you? Them catfish that Kibbles tells tales of.
No, McMurphy, gosh. It was Bowie, okay? I was in love with David Bowie, you know?
I love David Bowie.
Yeah, but how did she know David Bowie? McMurphy frowns and shakes his
David Bowie?
head.
How does anyone know David Bowie? He's, like, fantastic.
No, I mean, like, met him. Not know of him. I mean, like, she hung out with David Bowie. Oh, she's looking trashed. See, these eyes so green, I can stare for 1,000 years, you know?
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yes. That's a charming song. But I'm afraid I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Do we really? Oh, come on, McMurphy. Everyone knows who David Bowie is. Red hair, lots of makeup, one blue eye, one brown eye.
They're actually the same color. You didn't know that? Yeah, he fell down some stairs as a kid and, like, yeah, hit it and it froze his iris. They come off different based off light reflections.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did know one sweet soul with a blue eye and a brown eye, but I can't assure you they wouldn't be caught dead in makeup.
McMurphy snorts. Well, what about you, McMurphy? Who's the love of your life?
Don't have one, Carl. Never have. Never will. I'm a lone wolf. A free agent. I'm a big old yeti. Out in the mountains. A hairy and smelly and alone.
Wow, that sounds very sad.
Hype yourself up on a date.
For some reason, I find that very hard to believe, Mr. Hick McMurphy.
Fine, you're right. I'm a fool. A lovesick fool. I've had my heart broken more than once, Carl. And each time hurt more than the last. I tell you. The thing is, though, Carl, I can't remember a thing about any of them.
Any of what?
I don't know. What were we talking about?
David Bowie.
Yeah, that's right. So tell me how the two of you met.
McMurphy. I think I'm drunk. Hick. What the hell have we been drinking?
Leave me alone. I haven't touched a drop.
Ugh, I think I'm gonna vom. I wake up in the forest and half-empty bottle in my hand and McMurphy is nowhere to be seen. How the hell did I get here? I can't remember a thing. I look at my catalog. Whoa, is that really the time? Crikey, I need to get to work. So she's Australian. I don't know if I can do an Australian accent justice.
I definitely can't do a fucking Irish.
So, rest, you think? Because she's got a hangover.
I think we do recon and then we'll start resting.
Okay. Recon 4?
I guess.
The security guard I met when I arrived might be a good lead. Time for a bit of interrogation work. I've been staring at the back of my head for a long time now. Too long I'm starting to feel creepy. I just don't understand it. All he does is sit in that chair by the dock, eating egg sandwiches and doing crossword puzzles. How does a man like that become the security guard for a place like that? Egg sandwiches. He's gonna have some bad guys. As far as I can tell, his job consists of greeting the boat to make sure nothing unauthorized gets on or off of it, picking up supply deliveries, and occasionally taking a long, lazy lap of the island to make sure everything's secure. I wonder what he knows about the research that goes on here, if anything. He doesn't seem to be interested regardless. I decide it's time to get to know the island bouncer and go to join him at the dock.
Oh, we someone new. I sit next to Zane, me on the sand, him in that chair.
He's not wearing his big coat, and the short sleeve shirt allows me to notice for the first time how surprisingly muscular he is. I never truly thought of him as security in the bodyguard sense, but now squinting at him sideways, and try not to stare too obviously, I begin to see him in a new light. I pluck up the courage to talk. Hey Zane, how are you?
Are you trying to start a conversation? That'll be my voice for Zane.
I like your security voice. He says this without looking up from his crossword puzzle. Oh, I suppose I am, yes. I don't get to chat to humans much in my job.
Research Assistant 125.
Shit. He's just shooting me down. He rolls the words out like he's reading them. Oh, yes, I guess that's me. So what does the number stand for anyhow?
You don't know?
He asked monotonously. I still glued to his crossword puzzle. No, actually, to be honest, Zane, I don't know much at all. There's a definite lack of intel sharing on this project.
Which project would that be?
This one. The whole research project that's going on. Is there more than one?
Depends who you ask.
I was just asking you, really?
I don't understand the job. I don't need to. I don't care about things I don't need to.
What you care about? Zane looks at me for the first time.
You really want to talk, don't you?
Well, there's not much else to do here besides I'm interested in it all, aren't you?
My interests consist of what's for dinner and when my next puzzle book's coming.
He's very committed to his puzzle books. When's it coming? You get it delivered?
Comes with the mail.
He's back to not looking at me again. The mail? You mean the parcels?
And the letters, yeah.
The letters? Who would go to the trouble of sending mail all the way out here when we have email? I laugh, but Zane looks very serious.
It's safer sending mail the old-fashioned way. With emails, there's viruses, hackers, worms, cyber terrorists. Oh, he's paranoid.
I get the feeling he's not very tech-savvy. Yeah, but anyone can open and read a letter, right?
Not if I'm around. I'm the best. Oh, sorry,
Well, yeah.
I'm right. That's something he would say.
Yeah, that is.
I get the feeling. And besides, who would suspect that something important would be in a fragrant pink envelope?
There's an awkward silence, of course. Being my usual socially inept self, I'm desperate to fill it. Need any help with that crossword? I'm pretty good. I can even do the cryptic puzzle in the Daily Inquirer. This line usually gains me a little kudos, but Zane simply ignores me. I decide to just come out and say what's on my mind. I mean, it can't make things more awkward than they already are. Zane, have you ever noticed anything strange going on here? Cat's behaving weirdly. Zane suddenly looks up, his eyes locking straight on mine, unwavering and hard.
No. Have you?
Well, not exactly, but... He is looking at me properly for the first time since we met. I have definitely captured his attention, but I'm too nervous to follow through. I'm just being silly. The lack of human company can get to me, gives me daft ideas.
Such as?
He's still staring at me as though he's trying to read my mind. Sometimes when I'm not tagging, I feel they're playing games on me, like children, hide and seek, that kind of thing.
Some of those cats may be clever than any of us give them credit for.
Now it's my turn to be intrigued. In what way?
They know when to stay out of the sun. You're going pink.
The moment, if there was one, is over. I decide maybe Zane isn't the best person to talk to about my concerns. Feeling unwanted and slightly dejected, I decide to head back to camp. I stand up and brush the sand off of me.
What's a 5-letter word for solitude?
Alone. Zane silently scribbles in his book as I leave. Get more cat action than human action.
Oh, my life. I guess we could rest. I don't know how much that... Oh, that fills up all the way.
Yeah, rest.
We should probably do one more.
One more?
Yeah.
But it looks like just one.
Yeah, we have one more rest to spend.
Oh, okay.
And then we have to rest and go to sleep for the night. And that, I guess, advances the day.
Okay. So, what do you want to do?
Up to you. Can roll the dice, flip a coin. Flip a coin. Got a guitar pick. Which two are you deciding between?
Okay, so research is the top, romance is the bottom.
Is that the top?
Yeah, that's the top. With the words.
Okay, try it again.
Okay, so research.
Okay. Learn a little bit more about the kitties.
You're looking a little tired. You only have one heart remaining. If you choose to continue, it could have negative consequences. You can restore hearts by choosing to rest.
I guess we should rest then.
Choose again.
Okay.
Take a little siesta.
A little siesta.
I've decided to catch up on some rest and relaxation, like the professor keeps telling me to, so I've come down to the jetty where Zane usually sits on back. Today isn't a delivery day, and as I was hoping he's nowhere in sight, I sit with my legs dangling over the edge and take out my sketchbook and pencils. I haven't done this in ages. It's so peaceful. I can get lost in my own little world when I'm drawing.
That's all you.
Yeah, it's me! I tried doing a couple of landscapes, some mountain range in the distance, the trees of the forest, but nothing is really grabbing me. Then, as I'm daydreaming, staring into the water, I notice the patterns that the ripples form on the surface. They're unusual, I suppose, because of the magnetic pull. The effect is beautiful. I end up sitting for over an hour just trying to capture it on my page. Saving.
I feel like I need a siesta.
Okay, so research then?
Yeah, the research.
Okay, research 12. Slow day today. I've only got to organize a few samples from previous field trips. Today I'm in the lab doing floor research. It's not the most exciting job, but if I keep my head down, I can get through it quickly enough. It really just consists of unpacking the few samples of plants and flowers that the professor and I have collected on our foraging expeditions and logging them into the database of organic substance on the computer. Most of them are commonplace plants that grow abundantly in the forest, but occasionally we come across something more rare, exotic even. One of the samples I'm looking at today is Calendula incana maritimia, which is very interesting indeed. I can't help speculating that it's been cultivated in the marigold's little greenhouse and then transplanted to open ground. I'm distracted momentarily by the sound of clinking glass, and I turn to see the beautifully manicured paw of a sphinx cat, tapping on a beaker and nudging it perilously close to the edge of the counter. Of course. Boots, stop that! You're not supposed to be in here. She laughs as though I've told a joke.
Is this Snooty Booty a female? I don't
think
know.
it is.
That's a frightfully pretty flower. Calendula incana maritama.
If I'm not mistaken. You never cease to amaze me, Boots. How on earth did you know that?
I think it's my business to know about rare and valuable works of art.
Art?
Why not? It's been created by, like a sculpture or a painting. The marigold's a true artist in the garden.
Well, I wondered if they had something to do with this. It's so unusual even in its natural swampy habitat, but to have it growing here in the forest is very out of the ordinary.
I feel like you have a French. I don't know how to do a French sacre bleu.
Yes, his properties are extraordinary, too human.
He's a guy.
Well, I'm quite new to botanical science, so I probably don't know the half of it. Why don't you fill me in? Some of these words my tongue can't comprehend.
Although I'm always happy to fascinate your learning human, I simply cannot stay here for a moment longer. The air is so stale. Don't you find?
I ignore her sideways glance and up her nose.
It is a female.
It is. Let's go to the beach and drink some coconut water, and I'll tell you everything you need to know. Snoots, I'm not going anywhere until I finish this. Don't be ridiculous. You can tinker about in here any time, but the sun will be gone in an hour or two. I'm not tinkering. Is this my job? If I don't get it done, the professor will want to know why. Then explain to him you had better things to do. Snooty Booty, I won't tell you again. If he catches you here, Pop-Purr will cage you. Be careful with that flower, human. It doesn't do to inhale that fragrance too deeply. What? I turn to ask why and see her flounce out, knocking the beaker with a swish of her tail as she does. You did that on purpose! But she's gone, leaving me to clean up the broken glass.
It's the asshole.
Yeah. Some of these cats are bad. You'd pick now.
Romance is so dialogue heavy. Oh. Snooty Booty apparently is off limits now.
Yeah.
What happened to the date with McMurphy?
I guess. The alcoholic. I'm sweltering in the mess tent, typical for me to get cook duty on the hottest day so far. I step out for a moment to try and catch some air. Psst. I'm not sure if I really heard something or if the dehydration is getting to me. I take a swig from my water bottle.
Oh, I forgot the accent. Top of the morning to you!
Yeah.
Hey, aren't you gonna share, Cara? That's how you do Irish.
Yeah. Oh, McMurphy, was that you pisting?
What are you suggesting, Cara? That I use the designated litter areas?
Murph, you're incorrigible. You know exactly what I meant.
Come on, Cara. Never mind all that. We have work to do.
I am working. I'm supposed to be cooking for this evening.
I meant work of the adventure variety.
Oh, of course you do.
Oh, come on. Don't be such a bore.
I'm sorry, McMurphy, but I can't. I'm very busy here. It's going to take hours to defrost and braise the meat from the mainland.
Well, if you come with me, you may end up providing a much tastier dish in half the time. What do you say, Cara? You up for the craig?
Craig? That's a new word. What are you saying? You mean I should just bunk off?
That's the spirit. Strip your apron. Let's hit the trail.
But I can't just. What if someone comes looking for me?
Leave him a note. Go on fishing.
Maybe it's the heat, but I'm overcome with a moment of madness. Well, okay then, you old Irish rover. I'm all yours.
Ah, now there's the thought. He gets so hot and flustered.
I got Before I can answer, he sink into the thickening of the forest behind the clay cooking pits. I whip off my apron and fall behind.
I still got flour like all over my hand for making pizza dough.
Wait, Murph, it's too hot to run.
Then we really ought to cool ourselves off, eh?
He's led me to the cliffs and without warning takes a running jump off the edge. I see him flying through the air and watch mesmerized as he cuts through the water. Oh no, Murphy, are you okay? Don't panic, I'm coming! I kick off my flip-flops and shorts and fall into the water. I'm surprised at how shallow it is and when I'm easily able to stand. Murph, where are you? I frantically search about, fearing for his safety, suddenly feel something brush against my legs, making me scream out loud. What's that? I look down into the clear water and see McMurphy speeding along the seabed like a shark, fast and sleek, and suddenly breaking up through the surface with something in his mouth. McMurphy, you can swim? What on earth is that thing? Oh my, it's a fish. I can see he's smiling even with a sprat in the way. You can fish? He spits the fish back into the water.
There truly is no end to my talents, Gara.
You could say that again, but I have so many questions I don't even know where to start.
Catch your breath, Gara. I know I'm exhilarating company, but you need to exercise a little bit of restraint, or it'll be spooning on me next. Relax, the saltwater is very buoyant.
I copy McMurphy and we both lie with our backs on the surface. It's very calming and tranquil, and I'm finally able to collect my thoughts. I realize I've not had this much clarity in a long time. This is so cool.
I know Trixie took me here first. It's called Ponder Pool.
Oh, can you all swim then? I thought cats. Before I can even finish my sentence, McMurphy cuts in.
It's a common misconception that cats can swim. As you can see, it's another thing we excel at.
So humble, too.
As Nana McMurphy used to say, if you've got a trumpet, blow it.
So kind of innuendo-ish for a reason. What about the fish? Where did they come from? There are no birds or fish on the island. It's one of the first things they tell you in orientation.
That's just because they don't know.
Don't know what?
Oh, it's better I just show you. Come on, Cara, follow me.
We swim for a while, with McMurphy leading the way with purpose, and then he stops.
Pippa! Bad kitty. Pippa! Everyone cats. We'll never say anything interesting.
Well, the water is much cooler and deeper here.
Anything else? Can you feel anything?
I stand perfectly still for a moment and begin to feel a strange sensation around my legs, like a warm trickling under the water. McMurphy, are you peeing?
Don't be so crude, Kara. It's a current. Look over there.
I refocus my eyes until they see that what I thought was a rock shadow is moving. It comes closer into focus and realize it's a shoal of small fish darting in and out of the one particular spot. What is that? I don't understand what I'm looking at.
Isn't it enough to just see, Kara? To experience? Do you always have to understand everything?
Well, yes, that's my job. It's who I am. McMurphy, I'm a scientist. It's in my DNA to seek to understand.
Come on then, scientist. Let's take a closer look.
We move closer to the area where the fish are gathered. I put my hand down and realize I can touch them and even pick them up, but something is stopping them from swimming further inland. McMurphy, we need to get going. I'm going into be trouble if I am away for any longer, but thank you for showing me that I'm definitely going to come back here to try to understand it.
I wouldn't waste your time, Cora.
It wouldn't be a waste. I'm committing to finding out He cuts across me as I'm speaking.
I've been coming back to this particular spot. The fish won't be here.
Oh, I see. It's only at certain times.
And different locations. It changes all the time. There's no pattern to it either. So you'd just be sticking your pins in maps, Kara. I brought you here because I saw them this morning. Chances are they'll be gone by this afternoon.
The disappointment must be apparent on my face because McMurphy switches lanes super fast to distract me.
Okay, Kara. It's time to strip off.
Oop.
Oh, no.
Huh? Here we go.
What? That t-shirt would make a lovely net. Let's go fishing.
Oh? Go fishing or go home? Well, we're gonna go fishing because we gotta see what the hell this cat does. Go fishing. I whip off my top and use it as a net to scoop as many fish as possible. It's quite effective. Great idea, Murph.
Now you can rustle up a tasty fish supper in no time at all. And you get to enjoy my company for an extra hour. Win-win, Kara.
Okay, so now I have a little challenge for you.
That, Kara, is music to my ears. There's little I like more than a gauntlet thrown. Is that how did I say that right? There's little I like more than a gauntlet thrown.
Well, it's hardly a gauntlet, more a brain teaser. How am I going to explain to the rest of my team that bountiful ocean offering?
Why tell them anything at all?
Because they're going to notice we're eating something that wasn't on the delivery list or the menu rata and tastes way too fresh for something recently defrosted.
You worry too much for things that really don't matter, Carl.
I know he's right. I could do with loosening up a little, but this is a pretty big dilemma, really. Maybe I ought to tell Professor Purr about this. What's the harm? Mac has stopped splashing around and looks me squarely in the eyes.
There would be harm, Carl. Trust me on that. Do you take a phone call? Was it spam?
Yeah, it's spam.
Oh. Obviously, I don't mean I tell him about you or anything that would... Oh, that's you.
Obviously, I don't mean I tell him about you or anything that would endanger any of us. Just that I noticed this shoal of fishes and I took some end of.
You really think you'd mention a phenomenon like this and that would be the end of it? That wouldn't start pulling the manner of investigations and disruptions in this place? You're touchingly naive, my friend.
I feel myself blush. I'm being a bit naive, but I don't like the thought of lying. So what do you suggest then if you know so much about everything? Give me a plausible story and I'll follow through.
Murphy lets out a wild howl and splashes water at me.
Now that's... Oh, that's you.
Now that's what I like to hear. You impetuous daredevil, you.
I splash him back and a fierce water fight ensues. We are making such a ruckus. I'm amazed no one comes to check what's going on. After a good 10 minutes of laughter and play, we run out of steam and float in the buoyant warm water. Let's hear it then, Oz. What's my cover story?
It's a very simple case of brazen bluffing.
Okay.
Maybe make a simple and delicious meal and anyone should ask where the fish came from. Shrug your shoulders and ask the same question.
Huh?
It's all in the poker face. You make completely passive and ask the same question. Yeah, I wonder that too. Where did the fish come from? They're delicious.
Really?
Trust me, Carl. As a cat who is forever risking one of his 9, the simpler you keep it, the more they buy it. If they ask you where you got them from, you tell them the fridge. Simple.
I feel quite giddy at the prospect of getting away with a ruse. Okay, Murph, let's gather the supper. We have an abundance in no time, and I haul my catch back to the kitchen in good time to make a tasty meal for everyone and a little extra for my feline pals. Disco cat.
The romance is like so much.
It is. Recon?
We're almost complete with the research. You want to do...
Research?
We can do the research.
Okay. Once you complete your search, your time on Cat Island will come to an end. Have you seen everything you wanted to see? More to do?
Yeah, more to do. I don't want to turn into a cat. Do recon.
Recon? Content. Strange message in the middle of the night. Doesn't anyone on this island sleep? I hear my catalog beeping. I presume it's the professor. I tumble out of bed, half asleep, and fumble around looking for the device. I look at the screen, my eyes struggling to focus. The message isn't from the professor at all. There's no contact information. Unknown number. Come outside. Who is this? Come outside. They obviously aren't going to respond to my question. Should I do this as the message tells me?
I think that's the only way forward.
My curiosity is roused. I have a feeling there's something important to learn from this stranger, so I throw on my clothes and crawl out of my tent.
Hi, people. It's like, you guys are ignoring me.
Yeah, sorry, Pippi. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Come back. Anyone out here? My catalog beeps again. Walk to the edge of the forest. Sounds sketch. I'm not going any further until you tell me who you are. Walk to the edge of the forest. No. Walk to the edge of the forest! Walk to the edge of the forest! Walk to the edge of the forest! Stop it! By now, I realize I've walked to the edge of the forest.
No.
At the edge of the forest, I see something on the ground. As I get closer, it becomes clear that it's a small posy of flowers. I gingerly pick them up and notice that several of the flower heads are missing. Oh shit, my catalog beeps again. Follow the petals. Okay, that's when I see the trail. Little orange petals, the same color as the bouquet I'm holding. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. I begin to walk. I'm nervous, so I call out. Hello? No answer. Louder this time. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, who's that?
Who goes there?
Major, is that you, Floofy Butt?
I really wish you wouldn't call me that. What on earth do you think you're playing at? Carverting around the forest in the dead of night, causing a ruckus.
Oh, Major, you don't know how pleased I am to see you. I need your help.
And this can't wait until a civilized hour.
I'm afraid it can't. I'm not the one instigating this. I've been getting messages from an anonymous source asking me to follow them into the forest. Look, they've left this trail.
Ah. Candula aratama, marigolds, herbs of the sun. They're said to represent creativity. Some believe them to be symbols of cruelty and grief.
Your knowledge is always so impressive, but I have to say on this occasion it's not very comforting. Floofy Butt goes striding off with purpose. Come along. Oh, that's you.
Come along, dead bitch. Are you going to follow this trail or not?
I shuffle awkwardly behind him.
Before the sun comes up, eh?
We continue on for a short while and notice that the petals are getting more sparse. It's becoming more difficult to see them until eventually they seem to run out, and we find ourselves at a small clearing.
Well, it appears someone has been playing a joke on you, bitch.
I sadly agree. This has been nothing but a wild goose chase. Seems so, Major. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. Let's get back to our beds before we waste any more precious snooze time on this fool. I turn to Floofy Butts and notice that his back is arched and his fur is puffed up, making him look even more floofy than usual. Something wrong, Major?
You tell me, human. Does that pile of rocks look suspicious to you?
Amongst my red rock piles, I notice a small, contrived-looking cairn. Floofy Butts right. It looks far from natural. Pippa! That looks to me like it's asking to be inspected, Major.
I'll get to it, bitch. You're the one with the thumbs.
I begin to dismantle the small mound rock by rock. It's not until the foundation stone is removed that we find a manila envelope. Major, look, it's a letter.
Looks rather large for a letter, my dear. You ought to open it.
Here, or back of base?
Having got you this far, I think it's only fair that I have equal shares of the spoils.
Spoiled? Yes, perhaps we should look right now, Major. As I'm speaking, I've torn into the envelope.
Well, out with it.
It looks like drawings.
What sort of drawings?
I'm not sure, but they look quite old. Antique, even.
But do they have value?
Probably. To someone. They appear to be sketches of people here on the island, but I don't recognize anyone. Why would someone lead me to these?
How do you know you were meant to find them?
Because we followed a trail and it led us here.
Actually, trail ended a while back. This could be a mere coincidence. I hardly see the intrigue of a few old scribbles. They show no artistic flair at all.
Even so, I'm going to hang on to these to see if they prove relevant to whatever mystery is unfolding here on this island. Fluffy Butt rolls his eyes.
You really ought to focus more on the clues matter. Instead of running around in the middle of the night on wild goose chases, let's head back before anybody discovers you're missing.
I roll the drawings up and tuck them into my waistband. I will study them when I have more time. I think Floofy Butt is probably right, but I don't want to miss a trick. Get some rest now, bitch. Jesus. Finally, a sensible suggestion. I head after Floofy Butt, struggling to keep up. I really need some sleep.
That's a little tastes weird. Drink this. I'm sorry, I'm drinking all your teas.
You're fine. I'm gonna put rest for a second. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored, magic. Okay. Where now? Romance?
Yeah. You're nowhere to figuring out a cure for the antidote.
No, it's just
McMurphy.
mostly folly. Like, you're just running around. I don't know why. Why are all the others locked? Just because I paid attention to McMurphy?
I think because we don't have enough. I think there's like multiple parts to the story.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out soon. It's a beautiful day to be slaving in a hot lab.
Oh, so when Murph invited me for a stroll, it was easy to say yes, that I need much incentive to spend time with him. He's very engaging company. We've come to one of my favorite spots where the cliffs sweep upwards above the blue water. Suddenly, and without any warning, McMurphy plunges over the top of the towering rocks. I run to the cliff's edge with my heart in my mouth to see what's happened. And there is a sight. Still haven't got used to. He's in the water, more otter than cat, waving me to follow.
Jump, Carl. Jump. Sure, the water's grand.
McMurphy! I'm shocked by the shrillness of my voice. I hadn't intended it to be quite such a shriek. I was arming for a stern astonishment. That's so dangerous. You could do yourself serious injury or worse from such a height.
Oh, pish. Come on, Carl. Or you won't get to see the little surprise I have in store.
You've already surprised me enough for one day.
Ha. Which one of us is meant to be the pussy?
At this, I am filled with such indignance that takes over my body. Before I know it, I am halfway between ledge and water, bracing for impact.
This way.
I'm still catching my breath as McMurphy's head disappears under the surface. My mind is saying, no, this is ridiculous. Get back to land this instant. But my body is following the Irish cat.
At what point is this fake ridiculous?
My eyes take a moment to adjust, but then when they do, I can hardly believe what I'm looking at. It's a ship. As we approach from the stern, it looks pretty much intact. I can see the name on the rear port side, and although faded and worn away in parts, the words are unmistakable. Kitty's Desire. My head is swimming to the excitement of lack of oxygen. I flounder to the surface to catch my breath.
Kitty's Desire? I feel like I know that name.
McMurphy eventually bobs up to join me on the surface.
Surprised?
A shipwreck? Here?
It's a very old island, Carl. A lot has happened here. I would hope the island's old. I mean, that's how geology works.
Oh, yeah. But how did a ship even get here before the path was made?
Hey, don't ask me, Carl. I'm just in it for the grog.
McMurphy smiles and dives back into the murky depths. I follow a flailing flesh bag in comparison to Murphy's sleek figure. I try to get a closer look at the wreckage. It's a big ship, likely a trading vessel judging from the size. It's hard to tell how old it is, but it certainly isn't modern, maybe 18th, 19th century. When we enter the ship from a huge hole in the stern, I realize that a lot of the vessel is actually on land, and it's obvious that it ran ashore after it was damaged at sea. There's not much time to ponder the mechanics of what happened as McMurphy is tugging at my t-shirt with his right paw, while gesturing with his other paw outstretched to cabin he wants me to enter. I'm grateful for the air trapped inside and gasp for breath.
Here, Kara, look.
Hang on, let me catch my... But he has already ducked into the next cell. How is he not out of breath?
I realize his ability to swim underwater is unusually strong, but he barely breaks the surface at all. In here, through the hole.
He sounds really excited, and as I enter, I see why. There in the center of the cabin is a chest. It's wedged between the wall and a surprisingly well-preserved writing desk. The only thing preventing it from falling and being buried is the sand. A treasure chest! I sound like a giddy child and feel embarrassed, but McMurphy joins in my glee, and suddenly we're cheering and laughing together.
Go on, open it, Kara.
Okay. Intense. Waiting.
What are you waiting for?
The key.
Ah, does it need one?
Well, of course it does, Murph. It's a locked treasure chest.
Can you just break the lock?
Who do you think I am, Houdini?
I don't know about that, but I do know you're a very clever scientist whose thirst for knowledge matches your thirst for grog. So you get yours and I'll go get mine.
Moggy grins before darting into the next cabin, and I hear the familiar clinking of bottles shortly after. I decide to try the lock anyway while McMurphy is getting his. I look around for something, anything. I could never lever it with and am disappointed. Everything except the chest and the desk must have been washed away a long time ago. We'll have to come back with some tools to tackle that lock, Murph. There comes no response. McMurphy's obviously still busy with his looting and pillaging, so I decide to swim to the beach to get a better look at this wreck from land. When I can take in the scene properly, I can make out what looks like another large ship just a bit further down the beach. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. One huge sea vessel finding its way to this island is strange enough, but two meeting the same unhappy fate is more than my brain can process. The proximity of the pair would suggest a collision of some kind. Possibly the second vessel could have been a pirate ship. Maybe it was attacking the merchant vessel. I get the feeling I'm looking at the conclusion of a very interesting story here. I wonder why Professor Pauper didn't tell me about it. Obviously, he must be aware of the two vessels. My nose for intrigue has started to twitch, and I'm burning to know more. I decide to take some of the debris, splinters, and small chunks of metal and pocket it for later analysis in the lab. When I'm satisfied that I've thoroughly combed the beach for specimens and have salvaged anything of interest, I realize that I haven't seen McMurphy for quite a while. My heart stops and the hairs on my neck stand on end. How could I have been so wrapped up in my work that I neglected to keep an eye on my friend? McMurphy! I'm met with a silence and still water. I run back towards Kitty's desire, my heart thumping in my chest. McMurphy! I jump in the sea and swim back to the stern of the ship. There doesn't seem to be any life around here.
Oh, no.
I break through the surface with a choke and try to call out again, but my throat is hoarse and full of salt water. Where? I catch a sight of the shadow out of the corner of my eye, crawling along the seabed. I dive under to get a better look and see instantly that it's the Irish cat stalking and prowling as if he were on land. I quickly grab him by the scruff of the neck and drag him back to shore. McMurphy, you loon, what on earth were you playing at? I catch my breath and check on him, but he's happily rolling in his back in the sand.
Me? I was having a grand time until you handled me with those big meaty paws of yours.
Get serious or let it go?
What you choose?
Big meaty what? Charming, I must say. I have you know I was very worried about you.
And I fully appreciate it, Kara.
Meaty paws. McMurphy has started laughing and is too infectious not to join in. Seriously though, Mac, that was some very impressive breath control. I didn't see you come up for air once.
I think I get it from my mother, God bless her. She had fantastic lungs.
Do you remember her?
Flashes, sometimes, but Kara, when I'm on that grog, I have all kinds of flashes. So who knows what's real and what isn't?
I can feel he's nudging me off that subject, so I respect his privacy. What do you know about two beauties, then? We survey the ships in silence for a moment or two.
I know that they've been a source of great pleasure for me, Kara. Beyond that, I don't really care too much.
You really are the embodiment of hedonism.
I'll take that as a compliment, Kara.
I can't help but laugh. You would.
There's worse things in life than a little pleasure.
True, but a little balance may be even better.
And that's where you come in.
Huh?
You bring some balance to me, Kara. You let me be me. But you help me stay safe.
Yes, I suppose so. And you bring some spice to what might otherwise be a rather bland scientist's taste. McMurphy's green eyes glitter in the sunlight and he throws me a wink.
Come on, then.
Swashbuckler, I need something to eat after all that adventuring.
I'll walk you back to camp if you promise to save a bite for your friendly tour guide. I'm actually getting kind of hungry.
I know. What is that? It's cooking?
Oh, Nana? Bunch of, weird little things to unlock.
You want to take a break?
Yeah. Let me click on this extras thing. Pirates. It's all over there. I think it's plenty of fun.
I'm coughing.
It's been, an hour? An hour and 11 minutes? I'm absolutely starving. We'll have to pick this up some other time.
Yeah. It was fun.